Let's continue to see. Others agree that it makes sense. There are other people talking to each other. Hey, you know what? 3 people have gone to the Holy Spirit. The Kia replied, What? We'll know soon enough. Now all the forces in the temple. They all target them. I want to see what these 2 guys are doing. A heavenly root 8 products. A 5-year-old will definitely be at the top. The guy said, Don't make sure you see the words. It hasn't been on the board for years. The other guy asked me where the real power was. But others argue that conservation is no joke. Transferring scenes at the Celestial Institute. Seriously sitting reading a book. There is a call. Serious son. Some people have come to report their thoughts to the city of the fairy tale, and then seriously scorn to speak the 4 words constantly. Never been in position before 205 years on the Holy Spirit. Maybe this time too. It's no surprise. The officer reminded me of something. The Queen also ran to the Holy Spirit. When I heard that, I stood up. Tell us to go. Transforming the scene inside the divine scene. There are many people sitting on the stairs. She asked me if this is her eye. SAO. Are these people sitting on the cultivation ladder? Title explains. Intense fake fate scenes and fate scenes. Cultivation, in Lin, I can harvest a very large good spot. The altar has a total of 199 steps. The stronger the connection with heaven and earth, the more you can go up. On the contrary, if the earth's connectivity is weak, if you want to take a step forward, you get a lot of pressure. 6 unexpected intelligent adventures. So the higher up will be ranked higher in the Holy Spirit. Confirmation title is not wrong. Each of these steps represents a distant celestial sphere. Continuously difficult walk. The guys are sitting on the stairs just talking. It's not the 7-fold. What is the name of the dog's face? He said he heard. He couldn't even climb the 5th ladder. This is real. Other names ridicule, not even SAO. Hi. I have heard all the jokes of the Kier. Didn't say anything. He called the 6-year-old photographer to go to the practice. See, the other guys laughed. But the motto now closes its eyes and starts to climb the ladder. The ladder he walked softly up the steps. A sense of self-confidence. Just take a few more steps. 6 silly people count the steps that the motto has stepped on. Even the motto is amazed at itself. The others admire. Since when can we go up to the 6th level? Other people say, I don't know. Surprising phrase thought. It was never possible to get to the 5th level before. Why didn't I feel any resistance today? Keep going up. How high can you think you can climb? So I walked past the people who despised him. The motto goes on and on and on. Everyone also looked up. I feel that the title has gone up very high. Let's hurry up too, I agree. 2 young men immediately stepped up the stairs. Then a luminous force burst forth. He feels the infinite power. The vision here is not normal. Quickly in the sky, the table lit up. People nearby scream when they see the movement. When you look at it, it's amazing when the order of the celestial table is changed. They're stupid when that's the name of the motto. That's why it's in the top 200. Everyone is buzzing about it. The flowers also appear at this time. After us, go to. Hiake gritted his teeth in frustration. They said this was impossible. Then seriously came running here. He looked at me. I asked my subordinates if they still haven't found my son. Suddenly glance in surprise. Look up at the celestial table and ask the question with your mouth open. That scrap's name is also on the SAO board. Want to get into the top 200? At least 50 steps up. In the Holy Spirit, I couldn't even climb 5 steps before. Maybe he broke through to heaven. Everyone is staring up at the celestial table. I admire the words and have not stopped. He could be in the top 200. The head. Some people shout that this is impossible. The order of thought is constantly changing. It's up to 106. It makes you seriously stupid. He looked up and clenched his fist and said no. The name of trash as a motto that can stand on me. I'm also surprised by myself here. More than 90 degrees. Without feeling any pressure at all. Look down at the table. They say this is destiny. It was decided by the 10,000 min long Taoists. 6 adventure below me to exclaim strong motto. Really, this progress is really hard to imagine. Looking at him, it seems that he still has the strength to continue this boy. I knew him before. It just hasn't shown its full potential yet. We're clowns too. The photographer says you understand that too. How high can we climb this time? It doesn't matter. It's mostly connected. But without saying the full sentence, the photographer was stupid. Make the next 6 adventurers puzzled look at him. Suddenly, the photographer was extremely confused. The sight of a past life comes back. The photographer is now lying on the ground, his body crumbling. There was a shadow in front of me asking, "You don't know. You're hurt." When Regent Li opened Ra's eyes, he screamed my chest. The girl next to you said you woke up. Full-body photographer bandaged lying motionless in bed. The girl said she didn't know you were being chased. Now your body is seriously injured. Come with me to the temple. I can teach you to practice. I turned around and asked who you were. She laughed, haha. One day you will leave to forget me. Don't you know what my name is? Make the photographer stupefied. Time passes by. The photographer is giving a lashed punch to the bald man. Up the shore and down the field, girl reminds disciple. It is not okay for you to practice like that. If you want to connect with heaven, you must give up hatred. Sheng Shan. Irrigation of all things uncontested children. If it is heaven, it can be a great way. But the photographer kept swinging Ra's punch. Make the girl run out of words. She sighed and talked so much. You are my deceitful lie. Don't let it down. Brother, there is nothing to do if you have a little more painting. Ask like a teacher. They say you love women. Is a scourge, still humiliating in the bleeding body of the patriot. But she just laughed and asked in her heart. Master is in love with Sao. The photographer, of course not. So she said it's not over. Whatever others say, they do. And then another memory popped up. He hugged the girl in his arms and called her master. Crying and saying, "Don't leave me. You were my only family." She tried to tell me not to be sad. I figured out early on that you were my destiny. God cannot take my death. It has nothing to do with them agreeing with me. Don't avenge them. Leave the anger in your heart. What is lost is not sure to ask for, even less committed. It just makes you lose more. The photographer cried out in pain. But she kept talking. I can definitely train to the world. Shen Shui. Retreat tears kept pouring down with pain. And immediately she disappeared and vanished with the wind. The photographer shouted for the master. Back to reality. The tears kept falling down. In front of him. The teacher is sitting in front of you right now. The people around me also look at the beauty. 6 is so beautiful. That's what makes people nervous. So I turned to the photographer. But I saw him in tears. Hurry to ask you why. The photographer shook his head and said no. Just thinking about not competing with the world. It's hard not to get there all my life. The noble and the weak. Hearing about that world makes 6 silly people difficult to understand. Immediately said, I can't believe you have so many emotions. Hoo, let's talk. I also see the girl here. He secretly thought the world did not expect such a beautiful girl. Here Sao has never seen before. Suddenly, the girl opened her eyes. It's also amazing. The others were blinding. Someone rushed to cover Hoo. I dare not look. Suddenly, the girl stood up smiling. Then step by step down the stairs. Gliding through the slang. Make people look at Theo. Suddenly, she walked straight in front of the photographer. Then say hello and let me know. He looked at the girl and shook his head as if he didn't know her. That surprised the girl. I said, it feels like I met you somewhere. I can't believe I can predict his fate. So many years. But this is the first time. The girl thought and laughed and said my name was Moon. What's your name? The photographer said bewildered. Your name is Moon like everyone else. Asked with open mouth. She's talking to that kid. Why did I look so long and not come looking for me? 6 adventurers stand by bewildered. The photographer replied, my name is Terry. I think of the name of this photographer. I think this name is familiar. Where did you seem to hear it? Then he shook his head and laughed and said he couldn't remember. He is also the one who looks down. Then go straight down and call the photographer. What happened? You two know each other. Then the speech of the photographer. In dance god tone, it's complicated. This woman doesn't know what her background is. Be a little careful. She laughed and said she was not familiar. Then pass along the sound. She's not going to threaten me. Oh, up an hour. You only met her once. I know what kind of person she is. The photographer was happy to confirm that. The phrase, jealousy, to see the kind eyes that the photographer looked at. The moon doesn't leave, if you trusted her that much. Then I ignore you too. Talk and turn your back. It also makes me wonder what the SAO motto is. Run down and say a word, and then run up. It's like the moon glanced and laughed. Tell me your friend doesn't welcome me. Something happened to the photographer, I remember. We will meet again soon. Say goodbye and she's gone. The sight of her shadow made the young men look at Theo. To love such a gentle and sober young woman. Then turn around, looking at the photographer full of annoyance. 6 funny adventures, ha. Photographer, you seem to be everyone's enemy. The police officer replied, let them go. Go your way. Don't worry about the eyes. And the laughter of others. Must know that. Someone better than you. I don't have time to care about you. 6 adventure to admire. It seems to be true. SAO photographer, you can always say such philosophical things. Hurry and wait for me. So they climbed the stairs together. On the side of the motto. When he walked up high, he stopped. I think more than 120 degrees is the limit. But the girl just now is a little worse. Sit down and say practice here. She complains that she doesn't know her. and speak for her. Close your eyes and start practicing. On the staircase on the celestial side has shown the title, to make the astonished people bewildered. I can't believe the word can be like that. He's currently ranked 11th. It makes the blood hot. I asked if the sign is broken. Go to the Holy Spirit and see for me. The officers immediately listened. The angry flower screamed, "How can he get past me? How did the phrase end up?" The crowd began to talk as loudly as the market. Stupid looking up at the table. What are you talking about? The 11th that we're mocking. A word is a slut with only a code. It turns out that the junk is really me. Next to him, the others are also horrified and waiting. 2 people entered the Holy Spirit. Watch the movie and 6 familiar names. These 2 people are also from the world of small spirits. The names of the promoted guys are so fast they're 90. People say 6 is stopping at 86. 6 feet are shaking right now. Snorkeling asked me to stop here. Outside table, others love village, when the rest is up. That's the photographer. I have put down Kim's name. But it hasn't stopped. And the name's still going up to 1098. The number was quickly stopped at 16. It also makes everyone quiet. One of them said this is a man of the world. SAO is not in the Long Kui area. There are no resources. SAO without resources, without context. First time to the Holy Spirit. Almost got into the top 10. Too scary to change the scene on the Kim Deem side. He's busy practicing. Alone emitting a powerful gas on the field. Suddenly, a servant rushed to the young master. Not good. Kim jumped in and asked what happened. The name of the young master announced. On the Holy Spirit, there were 2 people who just passed through. You've fallen to 20th place. Kim Deem calmly laughed, haha. The ranking changes. Not very normal SAO. You don't have to be surprised who those 2 are. The servant replied to one of them as the 11th ranked motto. Here is the 16th ranked photographer. They are all first time participating. Hearing the name photographer surprised Kim Deem. He laughed and said, I want to come too. The Holy Spirit of fairy scene cultivation, Long Vu Yin aesthetic is over. But I absolutely will not let the regent ride her head. Moving scenes in Long En. Long Yu Yin walked out the door. I have just left you, and I have despised you. A new person with no context. For the first time in heaven. Ranked 16th. It's not that simple. Someone came to call me now. A young man comes up and asks you where you want to go. But Long Vu distorted voice scare and walked past him. The lake rushed to follow. The dance stopped and glanced at her eyes. Dong Lake wants to be defeated again SAO. That scared the hell out of him. And then she mocked and said based on this guy. Just like you want to marry me. Win me and dream. Turn your back and walk away. The entrance to the Holy Spirit. The name of the roof screams 11th. The Holy Spirit of heaven. This is really the stuff. Looks like he's finally broken through. A chicken talks for a long time. The others were talking about who the photographer was. I've never heard of these people coming out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, Long. The dance is here. The crowd is all up right now. When Long Yu Yin appeared, she goes straight to the spirit board. Take a look and go inside. The surprised roof said, Long Vu Yin also entered the Holy Spirit fairy scene. The others shouted. Prince Kim is also in. Look at these new people. That puts them under a lot of pressure. This time, the Holy Spirit believes the excitement. Meanwhile, the photographer here, still diligently practicing celestial aesthetics. The power of the eye is abundant. Move the old guys over here. Are leisurely playing chess, talking to each other. There are some students who are quite good at this. Nam Mon Thien Hai is an elder of the Celestial Academy. Laughing softly, Long Vu Yin has long chain veins, heavenly root 7 products. Top 10 people. It's at the top of the list of the top 3. Listen, the old man added. Dragon Yu Yin is the #1 genius of the Dragon Village. Needless to say, many new people. The photographer, also in DTO, just arrived, ranked 16th on the Holy Spirit. Tian Hai men crossed hands, said, 2 people from the world this year. Little Lin Lung is even pepper. The language also seems to have a new breakthrough. Royal praise. What's rare is that there's no family behind it. The photographer still has an inhuman expression. After a year, there are more talents. Tian Hai men laughed ha-ha and beat down the chess piece to win. The 4-language side is still practicing at this time. Hong On below looked up admiringly. Of course, I didn't see it wrong. The genius of thought. CA is the strongest. And then look up passionately with eyes of love. Let's be serious on the side and snarl silently. He moved his feet up the stairs. I declare I will not lose. But he was only 57, and his legs trembled. A downward pressure. He didn't bother to tell us we could lose. The language tries to crawl. Immediately knocked down by resources. It startled others to see it. Amazing. He was beaten up a few times. He was so full of blood, he was bleeding heavily. Prince On was surprised to call seriously. Make him a K-Tim. He hit the ground with a nasty curse. Others say this is the result of the fight. With celestial SAO, other people say grace is not enough. Still rely on hard work. And suddenly, this skinhead is screaming, look, that's who. The others recognized that it was Kim Deem. The top 10 is coming too. We saw the sharp eyes of the dragon warrior. The jaw looks at it and immediately ignores it. Kim turned to look. Long Vu Yin also wondered. Dragon Ball is here. People sitting on the stairs. We also have to be silent about each other. What is this? The other name is sad. The power of heaven is becoming more and more fragile. It seems to flow in one direction. They looked up at the photographer. It's a source of energy. And secretly swear at the green beans and vegetables like this. The power of heaven is all sucked up by him. So they asked each other to change places. A month has only a little time to come. This guy practices metamorphosis. They just walked away. The photographer focuses on thinking. It's been transmitted 5 times. This place is a real treasure at this speed. About a month later, there is a chance to capture the soul. Shock of fate. Suddenly, the photographer saw that there was a shock. My eyes look surprised. In front of you, Long Yu is coming. I don't even know why. I can't believe it was so hard to meet my teacher. I looked back and saw that this woman was unlucky. If Master hadn't told me not to take revenge. Best a little further away. Then, I close my eyes and think I want to be stronger. Absolutely not. Give her a chance. At this point Long Yu Yan went to the photographer and looked at him. She sarcastically 121 degrees. I didn't think you could come to this place. Haha. Something has brought your lower status here. It must be extreme. When the photographer finished listening, he looked up. He stood up. Looking at Long Yu Yin made her itchy. And others see it with astonishment. The photographer near the voice asked again. By our identity, Sao. According to your will, it's very important in cultivation. There is no family behind to provide you with enormous cultivation resources. Can you come to this step? You really think that I'm a great genius? As you say, all of that trash can be turned into genius. I see you are that wasteland. You're not a dog. You're not a dog. Long Yu Yin immediately came back and glared his eyes. You say it again. The photographer then crossed his hand calmly, saying that he had not heard clearly. You are a monster. Clearly not. Make the gold and the others below. All my sweat. But keep talking. Thanks to our ancestors, we have a long chain. It's too good. Long chain blood vessel. It's trash in my eyes. Long Yu, the dog's blood poured into his brain, glared his eyes. You dare say I am a monster? Then he asked why he didn't dare. Others are afraid of you. But my photographer didn't. You are the one who raped a cruel person like you. So the blade is cut and thrown into a deep cauldron. Make Long Vu sound like blue veins. She said, a twisting of the red breath. He said he would insult me like that. I will destroy your whole nation. The photographer finished laughing, scornfully, haha. Open mouth, Ra is the clan with Cha clan. People like you have no family. It was revealed as a waste. I only have one body here that I want. Destroy my people to the world of the little spirit. Your family doesn't stop you. This word makes Long Yu sound stiff. The photographer just kept yelling. Don't blow yourself up all day. He's a 10th class ridiculous genius. Not trivial Sao. Just 1-to-1 with me. Soon I will show you. You have no right to judge others. Long Vu sound cold. You can only talk a little hard. Watch out, you don't know the difference between us. 1-on-1 ridiculous. No one has ever dared to talk to me. This way I will let you lose your heart. The photographer laughed and said yes. Long Yu continued with his eyes wide open. But if you lose, you have to pay my ROI. The phrase here panicked. Oh, ROI, Sao photography arrived. Even the destiny is not reached. Long Yu Yin wants his life, Sao. Don't act on that feeling. But he said there's nothing he can't do. Remember the words you said. The deadline is today if I am higher than you. You also have to pay ROI. Long Yu smiling, disdainfully saying, it's ridiculous. I lost to you. The voice asked if you dare or not. Long Yu glowed with one eye. Then casually say, what not to dare? I went up to wait for you and went up the stairs. To go through the motto as a thought-provoking motto. How deep a grudge do the two of them have? A photographer is not like a brute. On the other side of the table, people asked in amazement. I immediately agreed to this bet. This kid is crazy. Another guy said this photographer looks good. I don't know what the sky is. His grace is strong. You can't get through in front of the Dragon Ball. Not today. The top people in this ranking. It's very difficult to change to more than 120 levels. It's no different than going to heaven. The name Fireman Photographer Kier is arrogant. Everyone thinks that. Will bear the ROI of Long Vu Yin. Will die for sure. The Tianhai men also said in admiration. I'm dead. If you have the ROI. Hong Yu said in amazement. This photographer, though. God is not bad. But I don't know, the sky is thick. The guy in Tianhai said even he won. In addition to being humiliated a little. There's no benefit. On the contrary, he is guilty of the dragon seal. Who dares to be guilty? He said that young people are hard to avoid. Cannot control the character Long Vu Yin. Heaven-born hubris, afraid of what to say about him. In the end, if the situation is serious, we can't turn around. We have to show up. Long Yu Yan just went up. He looked down at the photographer who was practicing. She thinks 129 degrees is the limit. But we can feel it. Just practice for a while. We can walk on 130 steps. This is when the practice is over. Stand up and breathe out a breath. I can't think of going up anymore. I walked up the stairs thinking that Master said no. The weight on my body is too heavy, even though heaven and earth tolerate all things, but it's very difficult to get celestial consent. But can we stop at level 122? That's the limit. These 2 lives are useless. And then he spoke up. Heaven and earth. Heaven can cover up without repeating. Dog terrain can be repeated without being able to cover. The Great Way can cover Kai without being able to justify Kai. I know that there are places where there may be places where there may not be. Speaking of here, a stream went instantaneous, and then it goes into his body. It made Long Yu Yan, sitting above, ask in amazement. What's going on? The surrounding force of the celestial sphere is extremely disordered. What's that fire guide doing? Kim Deem also looked at the photographer. I was surprised to think, the spirit of the photographer, they all seem to fit into one with their surroundings. Can't even feel it. This time, after absorbing resources. Suddenly woke up. He was in front of the dazed eyes of Dragon Yu Yin. That step up the ladder caused strong aftershocks. The people below the village screamed out. Moving up to 15th place. A funny guy laughed and said he saw it. The photographer won for sure. The other guy went crazy and said, not Long Vu Yin is also the first SAO, and she is also new. They may be ahead of 10th. The gift of all others. That's a lot worse than her. Can the Germans win? So the 2 of them got into a fight over a fight. The crowd also quarreled, a lobster with the name displayed on the board. Suddenly, someone shouted, don't fight anymore. Look, the name on the board has been changed. Everybody's got their eyes up. You have to be silent and not speak. Meanwhile, the coyote has also appeared here. Looking at the table cold. Lam was also present. Not expected. Power of photography is just as amazing. In fact, it is not inferior to dragon dance. It was the first time Long Yu entered. The Holy Spirit of Heaven. It's almost like this rating. She spoke of the people I met. The brother photographer is someone we can't see through. I feel he's hiding a lot of talent and talent. Lam also agreed, yes. I can feel it too. He is not simple. Like what we've seen. Brother, let's go home. I was surprised to hear that. Turned to ask, don't you want to see the final result? But Lam said quietly, no, they are here. Right now, the same people have come here. Seeing this face made me wonder and wonder. It's a shame to say, take your brother back. So I hurriedly pushed the car to take Lam away. Immediately tried to stand behind me, This is not the way I tried in the way I tried. Why do you also come to see the excitement later? I tried to hear that and sighed uncomfortably. But with a fake face, he laughed again. I heard something interesting happened here. Then come and have a look. I can't believe you came to SAO. Try to keep looking. Look at Lam closing her eyes quietly. I laughed and said, I am here. Then this guy pretended to care. Lam's illness, the road has not flourished at all. I looked at her and tried to sigh. It's a shame. I thought with the grace of my way. Then you can be the best of the dead. I then told him to try. Your son is now a loser. Take good care of her. Lam tried to glance through. Try to be happy to talk. Thanks for trying. If you care about the disease of billions, it is still not helped. So I'm taking her out for a little relief. I try to hear that and laugh. I thought, of course, after being fired, this woman no longer has the will to fight. Try to say blankly if it has come. Then let's watch it. It's okay to finish it and go. The photographer has no context, but dare to dance dragon dance. But it attracted the right audience. Even after trying, I got sick. I'm also the only heir to the city. I have to worry more about my family. Ha. She nodded if you said that. I thank you for your kindness. Let's watch it and go. So turn the wheelchair around. Continue to watch photography with Long Vu Yin competition. On the photographic side, he walked up the stairs and said, You said the first day you came here. Just standing here, that's all. 125 steps is not difficult. Long Wyan angrily clenched his hands furiously. You can go through 125 stairs. It doesn't make sense. You have overcome me. Today, if you can't get through it, get my ROI. You don't have to worry about this. You should worry about yourself first. Where do we think ROI should go? It is a pity that you are as beautiful as you are. She looked at her body and said, Even if you are beautiful, but the earth's mind is like a poisonous snake, I won't hold my hand. This word makes the phrase with Kim Deem. You have to stand with your mouth open. The others are stupid too. 6 people here raised their thumbs to applaud. It's crazy. Long Yu's side shouted angrily, Where are you looking, you little goat? I will pluck out your eyes. The young man asked you. I think I'm interested in you. Don't think you're right anymore. He remembered the scene of the master before. Annoyed to say, no matter how you look in my eyes, you are nothing like this. Even if you take off your clothes and stand in front of. I don't even look at you. Toxic women like you, even if the appearance is beautiful, it's impossible to hide, is inwardly ugly. Long Vu's sound is flaming with fire across the black field. Dare you tell me that? I will kill you the radiant energy. Then she took the sword to the school in her hand. But the photographer remained calm and cold. You really dare to kill the people of the temple. I can give you 3 parts. Unfortunately, you rely more on your background. That oppresses others. Black people in your eyes. I will pass you here today. Let me tell you what a genius like you are. It's just a joke. Long Yu silently gritted his teeth and moaned. In my heart, I deserve to die. Why should I be so angry? This kind of black person is normal. I won't even notice. Except in the heart, I really think he's a threat.